What about contracts, mate? Tell me about.
So contracts over here typically FIDIC based is the standard form. Not uncommon for the Middle East, most of Africa as well. That FIDIC is the predominant form.
It amended like the Australian standard is here.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we see. It's quite a strict sort of term of amendments to the FIDIC form. A lot of them are very employer centric. So you've got strict delay damages, strict requirement to provide performance security, advanced payment guarantees, retention bonds. You've got collateral warranties that are required. So it's a really strict sort of form of contract, and a lot of those are actually pushed through to the subcontractors as well. So you've got back-to-back payment terms, pay when paid, pay if paid, concerns that often arise in contracts that you're looking at. So it's very much an employer-dominated space in terms of the contracts, and there's various levels of pushback. For some of the major developers, often there isn't much pushback in terms of the contract forms. So they'll have developed their standard forms based on FIDIC, and they'll roll those out as part of their contract their RFP packages, and people will, have base their tender off those. But I mean, given that they're so employer friendly, often a lot of that risk is priced in. So you'll see people pricing in the risk. And that will go through the contractual chain all the way down to subcontractors, because they're definitely the ones that carry a lot of the risk of non-payment, which is, I suppose, typical in Australia as well. You guys would be seeing that as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. And so do you see a lot of variations? If it's a very employer-focused contract, do you see a lot of variations being trying to be pushed through?
Yeah, it really depends. If you price the contract correctly, less of a concern in terms of the variations. The concern is where you're tendering a project, and you've got tier 1 contractors coming back with one price, and then a tier 3 or 4 contractor coming back with a much lower price, where they haven't really built in any scope, and they're going to try to make up their profit margins through the variations that they might charge.
So is there a lot of focus on price?
Yeah, price is definitely the dominant driver when it comes to reviewing any RFPs or tenders received. What's interesting now is there has been a slight push towards considering quality. Certainly in Saudi Arabia, they just released a new government tenders and procurement law last year, where they actually made one of the considerations for the review of tenders, considerations to the professional capability of the contractor that's actually submitted the quote. So while it's previously always been price, I think people might have been, arguably they might have been burnt in the past, and maybe they look to a better contractor, but certainly price is the number one driver.
Amazing how you go from different countries, but that's a conversation we would have here every day. It's a conversation that Sarah would have in the UK every day.
Yeah.
Maybe to different extents. Maybe the conversation might be slightly different, more matured in certain regards. But who should wear risk is the age-old. Who's best equipped to wear risk is the age-old construction law issue, isn't it?
We've got another question from the floor. This one's from Matt, and it's for you, Jeremy. Have you witnessed any increase in the use of the NEC standard form contract?
I haven't seen the NEC or the JCT being used over here at all, really. Saudi Arabia's just released some changes to its government tenders procurement law, and they're developing some changes to its public works form, which is sort of the one standard document that they used to use to tender for all public works. And there might be some NEC reflected changes in that, but otherwise, no, we haven't seen any. And likewise, we haven't seen any of the new FIDIC Rainbow Suite that was released a year and a half ago, a year ago. We haven't really seen those terms being adopted yet. Typically, it's FIDIC Red Book 99 for construction projects. maybe yellow book if that's the case, but none of the 2017 amendments have really been adopted yet.